What's up, party people? This is Psycho Bob, and this is the BBN. And look, I'm always talking about the Knicks. This is a Knicks channel. This is an NBA channel, sports channel. Don't get me wrong, but this is a Knicks channel. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. And so yesterday, Carmelo Anthony and the Knicks defeated the Spurs, the San Antonio Spurs, and the San Antonio Spurs, as far as I know, had the majority. They had their best player on the court and Kawhi Leonard, who basically plays the same position as Melo. And through most of the game that I watched, he wasn't actually guarding Melo. But that's not the big thing in this particular the point I wanted to bring up. The point that I wanted to bring up, and I'm going to make this as quick as possible, is this might be the turnaround for the Knicks. Because if you really watch the Knicks games, people complain about whatever they want to complain about, but the Knicks lack two things. One is defense, and the other is calls. They just get the worst calls. It's just there's always calls to break their momentum. When they're on a run, there's just calls against them. When the other team is on a run, the other team is just getting all types of crazy calls. The balls are just bouncing ridiculous ways. It's just if you're a player and you ever played a sport and you've been on a court before and you played under the whistle, you know how disheartening that could be. I'm not trying to say that they shouldn't always give maximum effort. We should always give maximum effort. But I'm saying it could be really disheartening when you out there busting your butt, playing as hard as you could possibly be, but the refs is consistently giving the calls to the other team. And that's what has been happening to the Knicks. I personally think one of the reasons why the Knicks don't get calls is because their team, or their franchise, should I say, isn't actually favored by the NBA. I'm not saying that there's any malfeasance, and I'm not saying right now that there's any malfeasance involved. What I'm saying is that they are not representing the NBA the way the NBA would like to be represented through management. You got teams like the Spurs. Think about how the Spurs represent the NBA. Think about how Golden State represents the NBA. Think about how now the Cavaliers represent the NBA. Think about how Miami used to represent the NBA when they had their big three down there. The NBA is about, representing, the bigger picture. It's not just about representing your town or your city or, wherever your team is from, but you also have to be a representation through, whatever facets or city or whatever you are to the rest of the world to represent the NBA. It's like when you have 6 children and you don't necessarily want any of your children to fail, but, some of your children represent, your parenting skills a little bit better. And James Dolan, as far as with this latest Oakley issue and this absolute circus that's going on with Phil Jackson and Carmelo Anthony, they're just not really representing the Knicks well. It's crazy because, they went from not being able to get on SportsCenter to being on SportsCenter consistently and having absolutely nothing to do about actual sports. Because, SportsCenter also just covers news on teams. So these guys are consistently on SportsCenter as of late and then have nothing at all to do with sports. So this might be the turnaround because and not just the win against the Spurs, but also the fact that Mr. Jim or James or whatever you want to call him, Guitar Dolan, has decided to end his feud or end his war against the beloved Charles Oakley, and that might get him some good publicity as far as how the Knicks are representing the NBA, and it could be a good look. So I look forward to the Knicks going on a little run here. They haven't won 5 straight games since like 2013 or something like that, and they have not won 5 straight games since 2013. That's crazy. But I look for the Knicks to go on a little run here. Maybe win 8 out of their next 10, and I don't even care who they're playing. I look for them to win like 8 out of their next 10 and go on a little run, and then maybe squeak in at the, they might miss it and be the 9th seed, but they still have the ability to squeak in there and be the 7th or 8th seed. I really can't see them being any higher, and even if they make the 7th or 8th seed, that they're gonna most likely get bumped in the first round. So it's what you're looking for if you're gonna say we're gonna keep Carmelo no matter what happens. Or are we going to say we're going to trade Carmelo, so we might as well, go for the draft pick. But whether I don't want to trade Melo, period. But whether they trade Melo or they keep Melo or they try to get rid of Melo, which is just foolish in my eyes, I think that us missing the playoffs this year might actually be beneficial, depending on if we could get. It's going to be a top 4 pick. If we miss the playoffs at this rate, we're going to probably get a top 4 pick. So that could be a good look. Anyway, that's it for this particular subject. I'm looking for the Knicks to go on a little run. Probably 8 out of the next 10 or 7 out of the next 10, and convincing wins, not just squeaking past. Convincing wins. I look for convincing wins. And I look for them to all of a sudden get healthy. Just all of a sudden, the Knicks will be getting healthy soon. This is just feeling of mine. I'm just, prognosticating at this point. Okay? All right, that's about it. And check you later. If you like this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you would like to help dictate the direction that this channel takes, please leave a comment. All comments are appreciated, whether positive or negative. Thank you very much and enjoy your day. And remember, positive thoughts cause for positive things to happen. Let's get it.